Welcome to Season 5 of the Gravediggers, everyone. We've had a really good little start to the season so far. We've only played 3 league games, we've played 2 Champions League games. We've invested heavily in youth for the squad. We've seen a few players leave. And yeah, we've got 2 games today. We've got our first game, our first derby against Red Star. And we've also got a first leg of our next round of the Champions League against Midtjylland. Everyone, as we start Season 5, where else to start but with the transfers? But if you'll allow me a little note on the channel just before I go into that. I don't usually say this that often, but you'd all do me a massive favour. If you're enjoying the video so far, do drop a like. Enjoying the series, let me know. Subscribe if you're not already, because we're actually only 3 off 200 subscribers, which would be really nice to hit. Yeah, and yeah, I hope you're enjoying it so far. So yeah, into the 5th season here at Partizan Belgrade, and we have invested quite heavily in the future of the squad. Hopefully. I had a comment on one of the more recent videos about telling me to stop signing 40-year-olds and focus instead on youth. I think it's a little bit unfair, because every season, yeah, I've maybe signed like a slightly older player to add a bit of experience, bit of mentorship for the younger players. We've had Suarez, we've had Fredrik Sorensen, sorry. I can't remember who else. We signed a few little journeymen here and there just to try and help with a bit of experience in the bigger games and mentor some of the players. But mostly, even if we go back to the very start, you know, Miladinovic, Toy's like, okay, yeah, we signed Tardelli, we signed Portillo. Klavan, no one can tell me that Klavan wasn't a great signing. He was brilliant. Filip Petrovic, who was this guy? I don't even remember him. The left back I signed, I can't remember. But look at this, these were all young when we signed them, apart from maybe Milosavljevic. And then, you know, we go through again, Mihailovic a little bit older, admittedly. Then Stojkovic, Ratkov, Petrilla, Batokomec, Stojcevic, again, younger players. Matic. He's since left, but he was only like 21 when we signed him. Pansas, Mancini, Zanotti. Gosh, I forgot about Zanotti. Is he still at Copenhagen? I completely forgot about him. Radonjic, Gula, you know, all these young players. But no, apparently we've been signing too many older players. But anyway, let's move on. So this season, we did sign an older player. We signed Filip Kostic on a free from Juve. Really, really good player. Counts as homegrown nation as well, because he played for Radnički. So that is really helpful for us with registration rules. Otherwise, everyone is pretty young. Ziga Shresh, Slovenian attacking player, we signed from Spartak Subotica, and he has stayed there on loan for the rest of the season. Milos Savanovic, someone we brought in from Čučerići, again, Serbian, looks really, really good. 18 and is only going to get better. Kenan Yildiz is someone we brought in on loan from Juve with an option to buy. In the Juve series we did during the beta, he was someone that I noticed, and he looked like he could be a really good player. I eventually would see him probably playing more of a number 10 role, or maybe even as a number 9. But at the moment, we've been using him off the left, just because he suits the system of playing at the moment, because we're using an out-and-out number 10. Joan Lomolina de Araujo, we'd already hit his loan clause before the end of last season to sign for 3.4 mil. Louis Barry, we'd also already agreed to sign on a free. He just got his first goal for the club in the Champions League. Inaki Angulo is someone who I went quite big on. So he came up on a scout report from Osasuna. Looks fantastic midfielder. I'd like him to be a little bit better in his tackling. But I would probably see him as someone who I'd play more higher up in midfield to make the most of his passing rather than sitting him in defence. Probably more like a deep line playmaker here or in midfield. He has stayed on loan at Osasuna just because it's like, well, he's going to play week in, week out there, whereas with us, with the foreign player rules, we'll probably struggle, so we'll work on some players on going forward. He actually chose to come to us over Liverpool, which was quite exciting. I think maybe just because we gave him like a bit of a player pathway. We've literally just brought this guy in, Krasimir Vasilev, on loan from Stuttgart with a mandatory buy option for 3.4 mil. Again, young player who I'm hopeful we can sort of basically transition into homegrown nation player with them coming in at a young age. But we also have to go back to last season as well for a couple of other signings. So Filip Ristic, we touched on last time. He was the top scorer in the league last season. Nikola Vukcevic, we'd also touched on the fact that we were signing him. We signed this guy, Kofi Jeremy Amoako from Wolfsburg, 21 years old. Another German joining our ranks. And again, yes, another foreign player, but, you know, we're finding the balance. It's working out okay so far. And then we brought in also this guy, another Spanish player, Pedro Alcalde. He was someone who came up on our reports from the French Youth Invitational. And yeah, he looks like a really, really good player again. Another good, like, creative midfielder. Basically, all these foreign players we're bringing in on the sort of presumption that we'll probably eventually end up selling them on. So it's basically about just trying to improve the finances in the club to turn them into quite a wealthy club, hopefully. The point where they can then basically supplement our, like, sort of native, like, homegrown sort of stash of players, basically. In terms of outgoings, I don't think we really had much. We had Miladinovic left, and this season we've had Medina leave, we've had Victor Anderson leave, Esposito left everyone, as did Bajdar. Esposito felt like by signing Ristic I was replacing him, which on paper yes, but I kind of saw Ristic as potentially playing off the right as well as through the middle. But Esposito wasn't happy. He's kicking up a little bit of a fuss, so I made the decision to sell him. So that combined with his wages and the fact that we signed him for free basically meant we made $1 million off him. Obviously, he counted as a foreign player as well. Stamir Bajdar, I just didn't see as getting the game time. His contract expired at the end of the season. We had better forward options than him, so we made the choice to let him go. One player that we didn't actually see leave, and you won't see here, was Dusan Jovanovic. He went to... Oh, where did he go? I can't remember where he went now. Somewhere in Sweden. You might remember Jovanovic was a decent looking young player when we took over, but he didn't really develop into anything more than like a poacher, really, which doesn't suit any system that we are likely to play. So he's moved on. This is what the Teleoptics squad is looking like at the moment. Decent, but too many of our development players aren't looking good enough, really. If we go to the under-19s, there's a few more gems in there. Johansson's in there just because he's coming back from injury. Araujo is just available, I think, for the under-19s, just because I think he automatically gets made that way because of his age. Vucic is someone who we're going to probably try and use this season. He did also score in the Champions League, which brings us quite nicely onto the schedule, to be fair. So we started with a 1-0 win over Vojvodina, a 4-1 win over Kucherici Stankom. You'll notice Dela Basic getting in on the goals. Then we beat Cracovia 4-0 with Ristic scoring twice and Bargi. Then beat TSC 3-1 with Dela Basic scoring again. And then we've just drawn 3-3 with Cracovia. After taking the lead many times, we just couldn't hold on. But we did rotate the squad quite heavily, obviously, after we'd beat them 0. And you'll notice like a couple of youngsters like Haris Zulic playing. He's someone who came through our youth team, our like development centre. Who else played in this game? I can't remember. This guy looks quite decent, Mateo Bubanj. He scored twice against us. He is Serbian as well, so we might... Well, I'm scouting him, basically. But yeah, Vucic played, Yildiz, Lomonino de Araujo. Yeah, we just rotated a little bit. And yeah, we go through and we're playing Michelin. So today we're going to have Red Star and the Michelin game. In terms of other transfers, outgoing-wise, Largo Bielka is kicking up a bit of a fuss about the fact that I didn't include him in the Champions League squad, and I couldn't really because he counted as he was obviously a foreign player and he needed a homegrown quota. And with the defenders we have at the moment, he was only ever going to really be a backup, and I wanted to try and cash in on him while I could. And with his wages, he was kind of too expensive really to keep around as a backup option. So he's going for about 2 mil, probably to Sampdoria. That will get us a nice sort of 400 or 500k profit on him. So we can't really complain with that. We have picked a team for the Red Star game. This is not the team. This is just because I've come out of it and gone back into it. but it should sort itself out because Bargy is injured, so he can't play. So we're playing Ristic on the right. Here's the team. You'll see it, but I sorted it before I started recording and then came out of it. So Ilic is still playing in goal. We rejected a bid from him from Bournemouth, like 275k, and we bought him for 875. So I was like, well, I want to make a profit on him, and he's really useful with him being Serbian. So he's still in and around the squad, and unfortunately that doesn't mean that Andrew isn't playing all the time at the moment. Andrew's been playing in the Champions League, and Ilic has been playing in the league. But Ilic was happy to accept that we stipulated a 1.9 mil transfer fee for him, and no one's come in for that, so he's staying at the moment. So it'll probably be one of those where he is happy to stay at the club once the other clubs are no longer interested. Rogan, Moname, Gaspar. Moname and Gaspar is basically becoming our main defensive partnership, both really comfortable as ball-playing defenders. Kostic on the left, Topic is the deep-line playmaker, with Onyek and Alexic as the two sort of more attacking midfielders, with Ristic, Jovic and Delabasic making up the front three. Like I said, Delabasic has hit the ground running. He scored 4 goals so far, and I think last season he only scored 5, so he's already pretty much going to beat his total from last season. So yeah, massive performance needed here. Obviously last season we didn't actually beat Red Star, and obviously the last time you saw me, we got robbed by them well, maybe not by them, but by Football Manager, basically. Sort of stupid goalkeeping error from, which unfortunately seems to happen all too often on Football Manager 23. Now, we have got a game in hand over the team above, which is Vojvodina, and 2 games in hand over them, and a game in hand over Red Star. If we win this, we'll go back to the top of the table. Basically, because we've been playing our Champions League knockout games, it's meant that other teams have been playing in the league. But yeah, I'm a little bit worried about the best of the Champions League because we've got Michelin next to, I think, is beatable, but there's also teams like PSV still in there who we have actually gotten past before, but it was quite a close run thing. It'd be great if we can get to the Champions League phase again and have both us and Red Star there, because that will help the league no end. I have actually looked, and the league is currently scheduled to have a higher coefficient than Austria than next season. So if that happens, that means that if whoever comes second will go to the league phase 3rd qualifying round. So, it's just one less match to have to try and get past in order to reach the Champions League proper. At the moment we're on our coefficient is 40. Rogan's doing well here. Oh, Delabasic. That's lovely football from Rogan. Absolutely fantastic football. Great attacking play down the wing there from the wing back. He sets it up on a plate for Delabasic to put us ahead. I think at the moment we're on 42.2 and now on 42.5 coefficient points. And next season, as it stands, we're due to have 32 in there, due to being 35.7. Obviously, the rest of the campaign in European football and stuff will influence that. But obviously, as it stands, things are looking good. We just need to get through. Great save from Ilic. We just need to get back through into the group phase to sort of cement that, really. League phase, sorry. We did try and sign Luka Jovic from Fiorentina. In the summer, he was listed for 5.75 mil, but he wasn't interested at all. Some of you, sort of more, fans more invested in the Serbian league. We've got quite a few of them who've been following the channel will be cursing me for doing that, because Jovic did actually used to play for Red Star, but he just seemed too good an opportunity to at least not try and throw in a little bid to see if we could get him to come in, even though I knew it was going to be a bit controversial, but he just was not interested at all. And he elected to join Red Star. He rejected some moves from some Premier League teams and stuff, and a couple of teams in France, I think, and Germany to do so. But so far, I think he's only got 1 goal in 4 games, whereas obviously we've got Delabasic, who's now on 5 in 4. Onyek wins it back. The help of Topic. Please be onside. Please be onside. I think he's timed his run perfectly. Sorry, I've noticed this sometimes when I sort of lean back from the mic, it doesn't always pick it up, and it's been awarded. It's 2-0 inside half-time. Topic runs the ball back. Onyek drives forward, plays it to Ristic, who plays a lovely ball over to he's well onside. And Delabasic touch and finish. Yeah, I've noticed sometimes when I sort of move and lean back, even though I've adjusted the mic pickup recording settings, it sort of chops in and out. So I'll make sure I try and stay a bit closer. So this would be some statement of intent at this early stage in the league. Obviously, we've had Stitch is injured. Can we bring on Araujo? Yes, we can bring on Araujo. It's fine. We have been working on his inside forward positioning on the left-hand side, but he can equally play his natural side as a winger, so that's not an issue. But yeah, we've definitely had a tough opening 4 games in the league. We played Vojvodina, Stankom, TSC, and Red Star. Like, not easy games. Now, TSC did lose to Radnik Serdelica. But they were doing well last season. So it was certainly not, no mean feat getting past them in the manner that we did. We're going to make another change. Jovic is booked. And he's also a little bit tired. I need him as fit as possible for the game against Midtjylland. Who else is looking a bit leggy? Alexic, we'll bring on Vucic as well. Obviously, in the first episode, we touched on our objectives for this save. And one of them was, obviously, we wanted to have a youth intake player. Then the following season, after he arrived at the club, play at least sort of 30 minutes 10 times in a season. We realised that was going to be quite difficult for us. It's a great free kick from Nadia Mamiri. We realised that was going to be quite difficult for us after we got the first intake, because they were going at 15, 16 years of age, and they were just never going to be good in team football. So we kind of had to stagger that. Monome's having a stinker. There's me saying, oh yeah, they're kind of like our number 1 pairing now. I have to bring Illich in. Just to be on the safe side, we'll put Rug and just throttle up. I've lost my train of thought. We lost my train of thought. Sorry, everyone. I got distracted by that goal. It'll come to me, I'm sure. But I completely forgot what I was talking about. Thanks, Nadia Mamiri. Oh, the dev center sort of playing the set players. Yeah, we realised it was going to be quite difficult, so we're only now able to start bringing some of them in now that they're sort of reaching like 17, 18, like Vucic, and Dela Basic gets his hat-trick. A lovely ball through from Rogan causes all sorts of indecision in the Red Star back line. Keeper's not sure whether the defenders are getting it, the defenders don't know if he's getting it, and Dela Basic gets his first hat-trick for the club. Looked like a bit of a nothing ball, really, when Rogan played it through. Looked like it was going to no one. But Dela Basic was like, well, if you don't want it, I'll have it. That is surely the game. Just gonna try and kill the game a little bit. I don't want any potential for any sort of sneaky surprises as the game drifts on. Can I make another sub? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Maybe I've used too many sub breaks, like stoppages. Oh, Dela Basic is in again. 4-1. This is a demolition at home here. Absolute demolition. Dela Basic involved again. Feeds back to Illich. Topic into Lomolino. Araujo plays a lovely weighted pass through to Dela Basic. Gives the keeper the arms. Places it into... What a shocking performance from this Red Star team. Got to take this momentum through again to the Midtjylland game massively. So Ristic, our new signing, who we had so much hope for, going to be out for about 2 months for shin splints. So yeah, that's really, really unfortunate. Really unfortunate. Yeah, Dela Basic is saying he's unsettled because he wasn't happy that we didn't play him as a complete forward enough. But he's playing as a pressing forward and he's scoring. Thing is, you know what annoyed me is that he said, hang on, did he have completed 100% of his passes? Someone really say it's a crisis. You just got Johansson coming back from injury to help cover for Bargy being injured and Ristic is injured. Got Lamanina de Rarajo, we're sorted. It's nothing to yeah, whenever we did play him up front, he played as a complete forward, but we played him as an inside forward on the left-hand side a lot. But still, I'm sure he'll be happy once he's, you know, he's already got... Look at this. He scored 8 goals in 4 games. Last season, he got... Sorry, I was wrong. He got 3 goals all season, apparently. I could have sworn he came up with 5. And he's moaning. Look at that. Chalk and cheese. But before we play Midtjylland, we're actually going to find out who we're going to play next. So, I want to see who the unseeded... Oh, so sorry, that is the unseeded teams. So we could be playing either Rangers or Trabzonspor, is saying. Oh, okay. So it's Porto against Graz, and we could be playing PSV or Trabzon. Okay, well, we've beaten PSV before, and I don't know what Trabzon's team are like this at this point in the game. Any good? We've got Tim Röning. That's the only real name I recognise. Oh, Mert Mulder. Oh, we've got Erfan Jankovic as well. Anyone else I recognise? Trezeguet from Villa. Don't think I recognise anyone else. Don't get me wrong, that's not meaning to sound disrespectful to Trabzon. I just don't recognise any of those players, you know, as you look at... okay, the Besiktas title holders, let's go into their team. Thomas Rauho, they've got Danny De Witt, they've got, Jose Carlos, Nathan Redmond, Sehu Gurasi, Roman Saiz, Rashid Ghazal. Don't get me wrong, some of these, I'm listing some of these players' names out. I am aware that they are not necessarily what you class as elite, but, you know, for example, I recognise their names. Can we say the same if we go to Fenerbahce, for example? Arda Güler, João Pedro, Cavallero. That's the same Cavallero used to play for Fulham, yeah. Emre Moore, Lincoln, Checo, yeah. See, I look at this team and I'm like, Mario Gila, I'm like, I know who all these people, all these people are. I know who a lot of these people are. But hopefully that bodes well if we play Trabzon, that just because their players are unknown doesn't mean they're good. See, they've done well to get to the Champions League, this part of the Champions League, but hopefully it means that we can get past them. But before we can even start thinking about playing PSV or Trabzonspor, we've got to get past Midtjylland, and getting a win here at home in the first leg will be a massive, massive step towards that. We did unfortunately get hit with a few injuries in the build-up. Marko Mihailovic is not really that ready to actually play today, but he's like another right back who I'd rather just have him on the bench just in case Rogan has to come off. And Onyek Buli also injured. So we're probably going to go with a very similar team to the one that just played, with a couple of little changes. So Araujo is in for Bargy. Obviously Ristic is out. And Taylor is in for Kostic. Kostic, with his age and stuff, I'm trying to avoid too many games in a row in short space of time. And Topic is going to push up with Belic coming in at a deep line playmaker role to make up for... oh, and that's me dropping my phone. Don't know how loud that will be across the microphone, but that was just me, my phone falling out of my pocket. And Topic is going to push up into the central midfield attacking role. And yeah, I think we'll leave it at that for now. Although, actually, you know what? Let's see a bit more of Amwako. He can play over Belic. Instead, I think we leave it at that. And just as Jansson's coming back from injury, he's kind of thrown a little bit of a curveball for us, really. We just rejected a bid for about 5 mil for him from Frankfurt. Bear in mind, we bought him for to play with a lot of exciting potential. So obviously we rejected it. He wanted the move, but we rejected it. Well, sorry, I didn't reject it. I negotiated it for 15 million, and they said no. And then he's like, "Oh, I want to leave," and I'm like, "What? What can it to keep you here?" And he was like, nothing. So I was like, right, okay, well, if they offer us this much, fine. And he was like, no. He's like, how about 10 mil? I was like, I bought you for 9, so no. I think he's onside. No, it's been disallowed. So do we not even have VAR at this stage? He was offside anyway, but it didn't seem to even have VAR. Maybe it was just because he was so obviously offside, I don't know. So I think I kind of threw 12.5 at him and he still rejected that. So we'll see what happens. He didn't have like a stellar season last season, but that's onside. That is onside. Yes, Della Basic. Same combo, Lomolina de Araujo, Della Basic with the tap in. Lovely stuff. And don't get me wrong, I would be open to selling Johansson. I think if we could play him, get him in the squad once he's fit, I think he could be a really good player. Like a really good player, and we could sell him for a lot more money. But like last season, he showed flashes, but he wasn't that consistent. But I think he could get to that point, but it doesn't look like we're going to get the chance to get him to that point because I think he's probably going to try and force a move through. Don't get me wrong, it's not the end of the world if not. The way we've sort of set up the club and with the business we've done is that like there's not many players who are irreplaceable. There's always someone else in who can take over. So if Johansson leaves, and it's 2-0. If Johansson leaves, we've got It's not 2-0. That's so close. That was it. His right knee was off. Oh man. We've got Araujo to take over. We've got Della Basic. We've got Ristic. We've still got Bargi. It's not the end of the world if some of these players leave because we've got a decent conveyor belt coming through of players. It's the same with midfield. Topic has been pretty much spends every season being linked with a club in like the Premier League. On all, completely against Dunner play. Topic spends all season being linked with the Premier League. Belic always gets linked to the move. So we've got young midfielders ready to come in should one of them leave. You may have noticed that Stepanovic left to go to West Ham in the summer. We got 1.9 mil for him, I think, which is really good because that was have that. Lomolina de Araujo again. Maybe just play him as a winger on that right hand side and he just feeds Della Basic all day long. Just beautiful. Lovely stuff. Again, I've losing my train of thought. I was talking about the transfers. Oh yeah, Stepanovic, yeah. He got like West Ham bid from him. I was like, oh, you could. They've just done us with our own trick. This is poor defense. Like, Taylor's obviously keeping half. No one follows Darami. We had that last time against Cracovia. The defense were just like not following the runners. So yeah, he left you because he wanted to make the move, and I was like, well, probably not going to get much more money for you in the future, so go for it. Off you go. So he went. He was a good player for us, but he was useful because he could play comfortably in midfield and in defence. But he was still not the best player we had in either of those roles. He was just a very good utility player, so made the decision to let him go. And not really look back, to be honest with you. Della Basic loses out. Now Mitchell will swarm forwards. Gaspar recovers nicely there. Lomolina, go on. Take him on. He does. Cross too close to the keeper. I'm going to make a couple of little tweaks. Yeah, just added in a few opposition instructions, made a couple of little tweaks to the defenders. Mirko gets his goal, finally. To the dubious offside that robbed him of his goal in the first half. He gets one this time. Who is it? Jovic with the pass, lovely weighted pass through, and he makes the run in behind. Smashes it home. Lovely finish. Just got to hold on to this lead. Been by far the better team as well. I think we really need at least another goal. At least another goal. We nearly got it. We nearly got it. Oh, it's still going. Cuts in. It's a great tackle from that Dreyer. Let it go, Delabasic, let it go. Just looking at subs. Who can we bring on? I think we do bring on Yilmaz for Jovic. Yildiz, sorry. And Topic is flag in. I'm going to bring on Vucic and I'm going to bring in Belic for Amwak. Kostic for Taylor, I think. And now let's do the 4 changes there. See if that can just give us a bit of an edge to freshen things up. I'll certainly be hoping that Kostic can come on and not do that. Normally, you know, he's running the show here. He is absolutely running the show. Is Kostic going to come on? Is he going to take the corner? Let's see the corner. I need a bit more from these. Look at that. So dominating them. Oh, yes, free kick. This could be a goal. To get a highlight here on this point, it's going to be Kostic. Is he going to smash it in for it's Alexic? He should smash this in. This should be a goal here. And it is. It's 4-2. Said I needed another goal. And Alexic makes no mistake and absolutely rockets that one into the top corner. Keeper doesn't even bends it right around the wall. Well, actually, so the keeper does move. He kind of just puts his hands up to protect his face, really. I'm a little bit happier now. Araujo, this left back is going to be having nightmares about him for days. Victor Rogan goes for the cross again. It's cut out. Starami leaves it to Tengsted. Keep it together, lads. Let's keep it together. Yes, get rid of it. Thank you. Vucic runs it. Oh, Delabasic. I think he's offside. He was onside and he does that. He's onside and he does that. Okay, I'm going to make my final change. Partly as a result of that. If we can get Louis Barry in that situation, I reckon he scores. (5-2). Thank you, Alexic. Yildiz, lovely bit of composure. Alexic gets it out from his feet, bends it in. Keeper should do better. 5-2, and I think that's hopefully the tie done. I have to give a lot of players after this game. I think I found my new menu. Certainly while like Bargi's out injured. Araujo just plays on that right wing. He's absolutely ran this game. Absolutely ran it. You're not going to get another highlight, I don't think. Take that 5-2. Lovely stuff. And the PSV Trabzon game is perfectly balanced. So, yeah, just have to see it go through there. But I think it's going to be, it should be us. Hopefully we're not going to throw away 3 goals in Midtjylland. So everyone, assuming it all goes to plan, I'll probably see you here when we play the second leg of the playoff to get into the Champions League phase. Who knows whether it's going to be Trabzon or PSV. Obviously, we've got to make sure we see the job through when we go to Denmark. But hopefully that's the tie done, and we can look forward to playing in the playoff against Trabzon or PSV. I hope you've enjoyed the episode, everyone. Like I said, if you're not subscribed already, do me a massive favour and let's get us to 200. We just need 3 more 200 subscribers, please. Yeah, amazing. Thanks a lot, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. 2 fantastic wins, fantastic performances. Let me know what you think of the transfer business. Just a reminder, all the youngsters. So, fantastic, everyone. Take care. I'll see you all very soon. Bye for now.